So that's it. This is Nigeria right now. Action. Hello out there. This is Nigeria right now with Dixon Ibrahim. Today, my guest, I will make public just in a moment. Your Excellency.
Dixon, how are you?
Thank you very much for this opportunity. Please, thank you. Let's go. You're welcome, sir. Please, the hot seat.
Thank you.
Okay, this is Nigeria right now with Dixon Irewu. Today, my guest is the Deputy Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, Alhaji Ibrahim Abdullahi.
My brother Dixon, good morning.
Welcome to Nigeria right now.
Thank you for having me.
Finally. How is Nigeria treating you? Let's begin with that.
We are good. Nigeria is here receiving the harsh reality by the clueless and inept APC-led, federal government. And APC is giving reasons for PDP to, address its problem. Of course, you are aware we are just coming out of
Yes.
an in-house crisis that we are used to anyways, like we have always argued. It's not something that was not envisaged. From time to time, these things spring up, and then our internal mechanism, which for the last 7 years we have deployed in addressing the problem.
So PDP is in the eye of the storm, and somehow that reconciliation has happened. Is it really over?
Yeah, it's over, subject to what you mean by over, because it's all about interest, and when you discuss politics, you will expect these things to spring up again. I don't want to be quoted as saying it's over completely, and then the next time we'll be meeting, you would remind me that you said the last time is over, and here we are. So these are developments that will spring up from time to time, but the internal mechanism which we are lucky to have right from the inception of this party has been the icing on the cake, if you like, because that's what we have always deployed to address the problem. So we expect many others will come, and then we'll address them accordingly as they do come.
So it's politics. Does this have to do anything? Is it any way related to positioning already for 2027? Because we know politicians.
In part, yes, Dixon. You yourself, even as a technocrat and a pressman, you do know quite sincerely, because of the experience that you exude. One has watched you closely, and as a friend, I know you are vast with this knowledge of politics. Essentially, 2027 is
playing out already.
Yes, playing out already. Certainly, it's now completely out of the picture. So a lot of persons have already gone back to the trenches, as it were, and then are beginning to prepare ahead of 27. And all things being equal, by June next year, the handwriting would have been clearer, on the board for every discerning mind to see. And politics will commence in earnest.
Should the members out there now be watching? Are they going to be expecting that, okay, it looks like our party that is speaking for the members now, that we want to get it right? Because so many people have said out there that PDP made a mistake in 2023, and that some of the challenges that the party faced then, or some of the issues that played out then, is what the party is handling now.
Correct.
Are you looking at correcting that mistake? The issue of zoning, for instance, that the party didn't uphold.
Yeah, very intelligent question. You see, that's the reason I was earlier stating about your sufficient knowledge of these things. Of course, clearly speaking, our undoing in 2023, or in the build-up to the election of 2023, is responsible for the state that we found ourselves today as a party, because there were so many things that were evitable, but we couldn't do the right thing. And some of us in-house, in fairness to us, and I am saying this with every sense of responsibility, divided by humility and respect to the parties involved, of course. There were so many things we needed to have done differently, we didn't do. And I was not missing, my voice was everywhere. I did say at that time that we were headed for perdition. We were tilting towards the wrong direction, because certainly there was no reason whatsoever, not for our then presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar, who was the leader of the party at that time, not to provide the desired leadership for us to win the election, having labored so hard to get the ticket like he did in 2019. One would have expected him to dot the I's and cross the T's, and get that victory for us. And one of the easiest things we needed to have done at that time was to assuage the Southerners well enough. We didn't do that. Having lost the ticket to the presidency, and then we needed to also have looked at the options that were open to us. Certainly, who would have paired with him to give the desired bite that PDP needed at that time? Or even at the time that those persons did not get it, there were a few things we needed to also have done, like option was given to us. What was difficult in relieving our national chairman? This is politics.
The demands of the G5.
Oh, of course. We lost the G5 governors, a very critical segment of the party at that time. It appeared we didn't learn a sufficient lesson from the 2014 experience, where even then that we had a sitting president in Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, and 21 governors for the record. We still went ahead and lose the election because 5 governors walked out of a convention. So one would have thought that experience would have guided Atiku Abubakar and the powers that be, particularly him, because there was nobody that was in the position to ensure that other than him. Call Ayu, let Ayu understand that, look, what's important for us is winning this election. Any other thing we do, to lose this election would have amounted to nothing, which is the case today. We had a Prime Minister of the UK, you recall her, Liz Truss, who for 45 days was on the saddle. When she realized that the shoe was too big for her, what she did honorably was to vacate the seat for her party to continue.
Even Biden,
Joe Biden, look at it, the contemporary situation.
Voted at the primaries by 14 plus million people.
Exactly, Dixon.
Eventually the party members said, no, we cannot go on with you. And he stepped aside.
Now look at how popular the Democratic Party in the US is becoming, with an option in the vice president, Kamala Harris.
Even though that's not my candidate, but it's okay. Let's not go there. Let's now look at having faced this challenge now. What will you say really about the banter between the number 2 and the number 1 at the primaries? That is Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and the FCT Minister Wike. Their banter, how is it affecting this party?
Well, that's a very serious question, and it's a $1 million response that would address it, to be very honest, because the truth of the matter, if I have to be very sincere with you, is that it's not a frosty relationship, as it were, but it's not also a very cordial one because of the development that brought us to this sorry state of ours. I have not seen the desired effort from both parties to see how they could reconcile for the benefit of the party. But certainly, I'm justifying the position Nyesom Wike took, which is to express his dismay. And that's because I also ran for, a political office.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, the governorship of Kebbi, and I was not appreciating the contribution that I got from the party itself, even as a member of the NWC. One would have thought I would enjoy automatic benefit and consideration. That did not come, but even the level playing ground. And that was Ayu who ensured that did not happen. After assuring us everywhere that, no, we cannot but have one of us, as a governor. He'd say, Ibrahim, you are my son, this and that. So the shoe Nyesom Wike is wearing is one that I have also worn at a lower level, and I understand the pain. Once you get the opportunity of listening to him and appreciating the honest situation of things, you would then see why we needed to have done more than we did, to ensure that we assuage and calm his nerves. But we didn't do that, and he has vowed that he would teach this party some lesson. And whether we have been taught that lesson remain to be seen with the reality that we are going out today. But certainly we would have managed. And that's why when they come now to blame this NWC as presently constituted, I'm quick to remind them that, but these were problems you guys could have avoided. You should have nipped it in the bud when you needed to have done so. We certainly would not have been here where we are, because 2 weeks to the election, general election of 2023, I recall vividly His Excellency Nyesom Wike saying at that time that the only person he would not go to polls with as chairman was Iyoche Ayu. Get rid of Iyoche Ayu. I'm not the vice president. I am not having the DG of the presidential campaign. I'm still okay. But Iyoche Ayu must not be the one to accompany the presidential candidate to the election proper.
But that didn't happen.
But we didn't do that. So if we turn around now to blame him, absolutely. I think we will be throwing the baby with the bathwater. We should be honest with ourselves. We should have looked at these problems holistically and look at the options that were open to us. If indeed and sincerely we are pursuing the objective of winning the election and liberating Nigeria from this despair and despondency, which seem to have taken up the land.
Okay. I would want to know more about the position of the FCT minister now. Okay, that he's going to work against the party. What's your reaction to that?
That was something just a month ago I came all out and disagree with. I said to him, as a mark of response, that no person, an individual who is in control of the PDP, hook, line and sinker, and not one person can stop the PDP from moving, is a political party that has stood the test of time, 27 years down the drain, surviving. Even a baby born 27 years ago would have matured fully now to an adult.
True.
And throughout history, PDP is on record from even the First Republic parties that existed, and the ones that we had in Second Republic during the military diarchy of Babangida, and these ones that we're having in Third and Fourth Republic. They had not one of them lived up to 27 years, but PDP has, in its color, objective and texture. Nothing has changed about the party. So Nyesom Wike as a person alone cannot be the one that would determine, the fate of the party. But he's a very, very important and invaluable asset to the party. He holds a very, very critical stake for the party. He has done superlatively well as a governor of River State, and I've argued in several fora that no governor since this republic came could match Nyesom Wike in terms of performance, to be honest with you. Because by the time he took over power in River State, you will recall what we used to have, the criminals, the militants, the cultists everywhere. Yes. He came and cleaned
it up, and there were infrastructure.
He cleaned everywhere and put an infrastructure that still remained unprecedented in the history of River State.
And then bringing it again to FCT.
And now, in just 1 year, he has replicated.
In fact, you must give it to him in the government of the APC that he is now part of.
Exactly what I always
seems to be the only
the rallying point. Yes, even they themselves as a party are proud of him, and I'm sure Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu would commend himself for taking the decision of bringing him on board, because he still remains the dramatist persona, and the reference point of performance in this government. Anything anybody says, what you can't take away from him is his capacity to have the job done, and that is what is important for us. His excessive tendencies and whatever is his nature. You could see Donald Trump of the United States doing the same, but he still remains the rallying point of the Republican Party, which I know you have sympathy for, by the way, Dixon.
Trump is my guy, but just that somehow, nobody is perfect, I agree. So we thought that, okay, the party would have also shown that supremacy of the party, that no one individual will like you have already stated here, will pull down the party. So do you see PDP aligning again to winning ways?
Oh, sure. That is the one good thing. And that's what effort I see a lot of persons doing, including Nyesom Wike, trying to see to it that the house is reformed, some of the things that we did wrongly and what we shouldn't have done that we did are not repeated. That way we would now begin to have a united front, a common direction, and an objective that would reconcile with the objective of the founding fathers of this party, which is to ensure that we continue to provide leadership in a democratic fashion, devoid of rancor, violence, and outrages, or this kind of rooftop inflation that APC has visited on the land.
Okay, so we'll take a break and we'll come back focusing on the NWC's leadership.
Thank you.
Nigeria right now with Dixon Irebu. Today my guest is the Deputy Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, Alhaji Ibrahim Abdullahi. We'll be right back.
Nigeria right now. Do you know why I stay very late at times in the office? So I can watch Nigeria right now. Very incisive, very detailed, and very informative. And most times, very direct. So my name is Ikenga Imo Ugochinyere, member of the House of Representatives, defender of the defenseless, fighter for justice, equity, and fairness, and a great son of rule of law. So make sure you watch Nigeria right now to get the real details without any adulteration. Nigeria right now with Dixon Irebu. Bet you like it.
Welcome right back. This is still Nigeria right now with Dixon Irebo. Today, my guest is the Deputy Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, Alhaji Ibrahim Abdullahi. He's my guest and he's still here. We've discussed some other issues that has to do with how the party have reconciled. Okay, so let's discuss the NWC. How do you see the leadership as led by Ambassador Umar Damagun? Because one expected that, some had predicted there would be implosion and all of that, but somehow we just see the whole thing down again and all that. What is this about?
The very good thing is that you are a friend of the house. You followed all of these things. You have reported during the press conferences that I granted in the middle of the crisis. I did say that we have sufficient internal mechanism of resolving our conflict. And that is the reason behind our lasting for 27 years unbroken, the longest in Nigeria's democratic history. And we are lucky now to have His Excellency Ambassador Umar Iliya Damagun at the helm of affairs. This is an ambassador who was in one of the powerful Western states, Spain. And for the period he was there, he provided leadership. And they are guided by the ethics of that service. Once somebody is an ambassador, he was the president of Nigeria in Spain. And so he was the face of the country. So they have this diplomatic ethics that they always deploy in looking at things. That's why sometimes when he's taken, people will say, why is he too soft, too quiet? A gentleman with that calm demeanor is not expected always to be hard or to be seen, rocking the boat. Okay? But he always will tell you, no, we are all family members. It's expected. It's just the aggregation of interest, and we will get this matter addressed yet again. And here we are. To be honest with you, he has provided leadership and an inspirational one at that, because the party today, as opposed to what obtained hitherto, where you will wake up every morning slamming suspension on its members, and in part that was responsible for the loss of election. We shouldn't have lost Peter Obi, a very valuable asset to this party. You will recall the role he played in 2019, and even when he now left for Labour. Look at what the number of votes he garnered, a political party of less than a year. It was, by the time we went to poll, it was just barely 5 months in the race. In that boxing arena, it was able to put a fight that was, barring some of the things they did. A lot of persons will say they should have won that election and what have you. And a lot of persons are still holding that argument that it was Labour that won the election. But I do know it was my party, the PDP, that came first runner-up, even though we were also rigged massively. But the truth of the matter is that today we have a leader who has looked into the bigger picture, regardless of the distraction left, right, and center of his continuous stay in that office. Our constitution is clear. On a general term, section 47(6), which is available for mischief makers to be quoting as to why they have to be allowed to replace Damagun. It's the same constitution. Yes, it's the same constitutional provision that provides his continuation in that office in acting capacity. And if you even go a little further to 35(3), 35(2), all of these are more specific because they provide the processes, for the succession in the event of removal, vacation, infirmity, death, or any other thing.
Of the substantive chairman.
Of the substantive chairman, the deputy national chairman from the zone. These are provisions that came up with the 2017 reform. It was not there before, and then we wanted to avert that kind of lacuna that we experienced before that period. You will recall the last national chairman, Uche Secondus, when he was leaving, it was Elder Akinwumi from Southwest that came and completed that time. So why is it a different thing with... and then we have a subsistent judgment, by the way, which is clearly spelled out by the court as to the continuation and the imperative of Damagun to be allowed on that seat until December 22. Nobody should do anything, not the BOT, not the NWC, and certainly not any organ of the party can have him out of that seat until that 2025, convention. And that's truly the position of law, which we all concur with, hook, line, and sinker. So truly speaking, let's just leave the position he occupies. What's important, is he not in the position to provide leadership? Yes, he is. So going forward, we will expect all of those persons that are not satisfied with the development to look at the beauty of democracy and then the brighter future that PDP, presents for Nigerians, and then be able to key in so that we can collectively liberate that, and then stop chasing shadows when we have substance to pursue, which is getting Nigeria back on its trajectory, certainly from this hopeless APC-led government.
So the aspect of NEC that was supposed to hold on the 24th and shifted now to November 28th. What's in it there? Because everyone is saying at the neck, oh, the decision will be taken and all that. What is it that people are looking out for?
You see, it was essentially to provide a collective determination in the prosecution of the war in Ondo. Of course, you are aware we have governorship election coming up soon, and then if we were to have neck with some persons, you know, staging mischief from behind, threatening the house and coming up with some insinuations that are not going to be healthy as we have a major election to contend with, it will not be in our interest. So majority view was aggregated, and then it tilted towards saying, look, we can shift the neck and then take care of the election that is before us in Ondo State, and then probably reconvene when it is more feasible. And then at that forum, we will now still be able to probably present the victory, and God willing, that will be the case that we have obtained in the election in Ondo to the NEC. Okay. And then by that time, NEC will now be in the position to give commendations. But certainly we've done fantastically well. Damagun has provided leadership. We have conducted congresses across the states of the Federation, and they have turned out successful, you know, barring one or two, you know, developments to the contrary in some few states, which is expected, as you always know. So the party is in good stead. Reconciliation is taking effect. The governors' forum are on a page with us, and there will be light at the end of the tunnel for the collective good of this country.
Talking about that reconciliation, is it because you mentioned like the name Peter Obi, and of course I expect that the Kwankwaso, them, all of these people who left, these gladiators who left and all of that, the reconciliation committee, is it possibly looking in that direction? Is there any window open for members who were aggrieved to come back, especially talking about forming a united front against 2027?
Yes, my brother Dixon, there's that thinking. A lot of persons are looking at the benefit of ensuring that household names like these two you mentioned, Kwankwaso, Peter Obi, as long as they are willing, but we are making a lot of effort to see to it that we all have them or they are blessing in the journey ahead, because what is most important is Project Nigeria, and these are critical stakeholders, people who have carved niches for themselves. So there will be additional impetus to the party as we go to 2027 election. If they come, it will be stronger, it will be better, it will be more inclusive for the party to be able to confront, you know, the audience table, which is the APC, and relieve her, because you could see clearly that these people are experimenting with our lives, and the more they do, the more difficult it becomes for the citizenry. I know that you belong to the elite class, so you are not feeling the impact, but we all are.
So everybody, who is the elite here? You are the elite, I'm not the elite. Don't put me in that trouble, please. Because it's not the same filling station we all go to. It's the same market we all go to and all of that. But so we're all feeling it.
When you see a red cap chief like you are.
I'm a Mazi, I'm not a chief.
Oh, I see. Oh, Mazi. Apologies, please. I'm even taking you back.
So the angle that Mazi is lower.
I see.
Mazi is lower.
Oh, I see.
So the angle that I would rather bring is, okay, being that this conversation about uniting the party and all of that, do you see the possibility? And this is probably putting you
on the spot.
Do you see the possibility of the party zoning the ticket to South 2027?
Now, to be honest, I would not.
Your view, honestly.
Okay, if you are talking of my honest view, it will be the right thing to do in the circumstance, because today we have a Southwesterner, you know, at the helms of affairs, and the Southwest itself is not happy with the development in the polity, and a lot of them are saying God of mercy from the state of Lagos where he comes from. They did not bargain for what they are seeing. And then one thing I know from the Yoruba nation in particular, who are predominantly from the Southwest, is that they are always willing to parade the best in their midst, and these are people that are well schooled, exposed and civilized, so they are not proud of what they have there at the helm of affairs. So if we are to look at the best option for us as a party going forward, it will not be out of place for us to also begin to think of someone from that part of the world, or at least
from the southern Nigeria.
From the southwestern Nigeria, or from the south largely. It depends on what.
What about the southeast?
Southeast is another one critical area, you know, that ought to be considered in the thinking of the PDP. So whatever we do going forward, we will have the blessing of the Southeast, without which we will not put an impressive showing. Because of course, you know, it was their disappointment in the last election that attracted the number of votes Peter Obi got in protest, for them. The church went with him, the Southeast Bloc, and a lot of other persons, not just the Southeast, even the Southwest. We have it in good authority that Peter Obi won Lagos State, but they did the abracadabra to deprive him of that. So he will be a very, very important factor in our thinking as we go to 2027. And the region he comes from is also a very critical region, the Southeast. They have a bloc vote. They are always the people that are Republican in nature. They have a very determined front. And if we think also in that direction, it will not be out of place completely.
The outcome of today's meeting is that, to the glory of God, we have been able to resolve the differences that has been causing our party some headache within the National Working Committee. We thank God that we've been able to open up to ourselves and resolve to move on as a united National Working Committee, which is what we needed for the progress of our party, People's Democratic Party.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, my pleasure. Please.
You're very honest. I appreciate you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Nigeria right now with Dixon Irebu. Today we had a very honest conversation with the Deputy Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, Alhaji Ibrahim Abdullahi. And of course, the PDP is well positioned to help re-engineer the nation. Of course, there are 16 years of the PDP reign in office. We can tell the difference. 9 years plus of APC and 16 years of PDP. It appears that hunger is the order of the day, and governance in our country is now for the people up there and the downtrodden that PDP slogans seem to be about, that is power to the people. That is missing. And all we want to say to the gladiators of the parties, particularly the PDP, is put your house together. Nigerians are yearning for a direction against this very terrible state we found ourselves in. I hope that the leadership as provided by Umar Damagu will continue in the direction he has taken, and I hope that other leaders will keep their prides in their pocket and look at the collective interest of the people. Because after all, if there is no nation, there won't be PDP, there won't be APC, or any political party at that. Let us put the interest of the Nigerian people first at all times. And like I will always say on this platform, so that we may build a nation where no man is oppressed. I see you next week on this same show, Nigeria Right Now.